Hypixel tournaments were first introduced in 2014, but the modern tournament system we know today was introduced with the first ever Bed Wars 4v4v4v4 tournament back in 2018. And ever since, tournaments have followed the same bracket and reward system, but that's all now changing.
I be needing wagyu, yeah, straight Japanese.
Recently, select Hypixel players had received a survey asking various questions related to tournaments. 1. Why do you play tournaments? 2. Would you play tournaments if there were no rewards? And 3. Rate your experiences in tournaments from 1 through 10. These questions on their own already show a very interesting vision for the potential future of tournaments Hypixel may be taking a look at, an updated tournament system. But what does that exactly entail? A lot. That's the short answer. The long answer on the other end is a lot of possibilities. We could be seeing a new tournament system entirely, but what's more likely to happen is we get an updated version of the current system we have, as a new system seems like way too much work, but we'll explore the possibility later in this video. For now, let's talk about what the likely plans for future tournaments are. 1. Less rewards or no rewards at all. I know this may be a scary possibility, but it is a possibility judging off the second question in the survey players were given. Obviously, a lot of people play tournaments for rewards, but to how much of a degree they do is debatable. A lot of players just play for a high placement, which is evident when you see the countless random odd accounts on the leaderboards of tournaments. At this point, Hypixel's tribute shop system has had most of the active community buy what they want from it, only leaving other bonus shop items available, but rewards within tournaments are no doubt enticing. If you're unaware of the tribute system, every tournament, the more you play and win, the more tributes you get until the limit of 100 tributes every tournament. You can get more tributes as placement rewards, and you can use tributes to buy various kits, perks, cosmetics, and coins for various games or lobbies. I understand where they're coming from though. I assume that the cheater rate within tournaments is high, and removing leaderboards from tournaments removes the entire purpose of the tournament, while rewards, which don't get me wrong are typical of competitive gaming, are not necessarily a must-have. My guess is that Hypixel is trying everything in their power to lower the number of cheaters within tournaments or something like that, but that's just speculation. While I don't necessarily agree with the removal of rewards entirely, I do think that the system for tournament rewards can be revamped, and I have a few suggestions on how this could be done. Option 1. Keep only luxurious rewards for the top players, maybe top 1 through 100 or top 1 through 10. The blaze pet should still be obtainable as it's become a staple of tournaments. Or option 2. Replace the current reward system with a tournament point-based reward system except for the top 1 through 250 or 1 through 100. So the top players still get good rewards, but the rest aren't necessarily tied to their placements. I personally like option 2, and I believe adding participation rewards is also a good idea. I hate how every tournament has a banner that is purchasable for 50 tributes in the shop, as it doesn't really make sense, especially considering that you can buy banners you can't use from tournaments you didn't even play. They could also take a route with option 2, but where the rewards are various random items from the tribute shop and remove the tribute shop entirely. But the reason I don't think this is a good idea is that most people who play tournaments never seem to like the game the tournament is being hosted in, especially Bed Wars players who usually just try to get the 5% XP boost from the tribute shop, and maybe the player count in tournaments would go down if that wasn't consistently available. Either way, lots of room for improvement. I believe point-based rewards are the way to go, and a potential reward nerf could most definitely make sense. I just don't see a total reward removal being beneficial. If anybody watching doesn't like the idea of the rewards being removed being on the table, also remember that Hypixel did hand out a survey for the players to give their opinion, so it's more likely that they wanted to know what players thought of the idea rather than executing it. At this point, I could not care less about rewards. I got my blaze, I got my fun placements and everything, but I do understand a lot of players haven't, which is why I'm against removing these rewards entirely. Another idea I did have in mind was potentially making items in the tribute shop that would be purchasable once after every tournament, such as X amount of Hypixel XP or X amount of game coins or tokens. They do sell game coins and tokens in the tribute shop already for game modes that have had prior tournaments, but a boosted amount after a tournament as a one-time purchase following the tournament could be a fun idea. On the other hand, what if Hypixel chose to revamp the tournament system? What would be some things they would change? I'll get into that, but please like the video if you've made it this far. On everything, my last video did well only because I asked y'all, so once again, like this video so more people can see it, and so that I can get motivated to upload more than every 2 months. Thank you. Now, on the topic of a tournament system revamp, there's even more possibilities than just changing the reward system, as that would only be a small part of it. You're going to want to watch to the end of this, as we can actually make some change. range. Some cool things which we could see within the tournament system revamp is a new way to queue players, wherein rather than queuing players within your bracket, which goes from starter to grandmaster, you could queue players within your point range, sort of like an elo system but where you can't lose. I know this sounds crazy, but assuming there's enough players within a tournament, this would allow queues to work more proper, as with the current system, cheating in the form of stats boosting is very easy, especially within newer tournaments where you can just have bots queue your grandmaster games to help you win, or even worse, make the game unplayable for others. We've seen this before in many tournaments where high bracket queues have a little number of players, which makes queuing impossible as bots would just join and leave right before the game would start, resetting the countdown timer, essentially just blocking players from progressing in tournaments. If not for a point-based queuing system, I would recommend something more dynamic, maybe based on the player's performance within various games, if that can be tracked, as if it could be pulled off, it would drastically improve queues. I do understand this would crave a lot of work and, more importantly, a solid number of players, but assuming it's possible, it would be a good way to improve the system. Also, I know it's a bit silly, but the tournament hall lobby is getting kind of old, and I would love to see a new one which can display all the tournament top 3 podiums, a top 100 which is more easily displayable and not crammed all within each other, among other things. I know that isn't necessarily revamping the tournament system, but if they're looking at updating tournaments, they might as well do that, you know what I mean? This also isn't necessarily the first time I've thought about tournament changes, but I've never really been able to make a video out of it since there was no purpose. But I did originally make a Hypixel post suggesting new ideas for the tribute shop that I might as well cram in here. 1. New head statuses. Head statuses are usually used to showcase your stats, and I had originally suggested an overall win status, tracking all of your wins throughout the entire server, and the same thing for kills. I also suggested an overall tournament point status and a tournament highest tournament position status, which, while slightly different, does exist on the server now. 2. Bed Wars golden sword texture. In Bed Wars, a golden sword had been suggested 8 billion times as an alternative skin to the default wooden sword, and the theme of gold seems to fit well with tournaments, so this would be a fun idea and addition. 3. A kill message showcasing your World Wars kills, similar to what was done with Bed Wars and the glorious kill message. The tribute shop also has a 5% Bed Wars experience boost perk, which is not toggleable, and I believe it should be if players want to optionally enable or disable it. But again, these are just minor things. No, Dr. Disrespect, not here, bro. Again, these are just minor things, and there's countless more which I'm sure some of y'all have, so drop them in the comments since all these ideas are something which could be expanded upon, which is why I made a Hypixel forum suggestion post going over all the things I did in this video, and more. Upvote it and give your own suggestions in the comments here or there, as it'll make it more likely for Hypixel staff and others to get direct feedback, ideas, and suggestions for how to improve the tournament system. It is likely that I may update said post with ideas from the comments or feedback and such, so genuinely leave your thoughts in the comments, as this wouldn't be the first time we've made impact, and it may not even be the last time either. Link is on screen, it's the one with the Hypixel logo. Thanks for watching.